started ushering at City Life Church. One of the dudes last year, I was part of like this talent show at the City Life Church, and I did some poetry for them. And this other dude did poetry there as well. His name's Curtis, big dude, kind of muscular looking guy.
Sure.
And he was great. He had some great poetry, and we had talked about like linking up and maybe grabbing some coffee together or something like that, but it never happened. But I ended up, going to that church now permanently because I moved over there with John in Tampa, and now we see each other all the time, and we've done a couple of things together. We've done some events where I've helped him out. We gave out some bags to the homeless. We've ran some church events and stuff like that. And then I had planted a couple seeds. I planted a seed a couple months ago. And one thing that Grace Family Church has is they have a really good men's group, and they have other stuff as well, but I'm saying they have a great men's group. And I said, man, City Life is an amazing church, but we don't have a men's group. Mm-hmm. So I guess planting that seed 2 months ago, he came up to me like last Sunday and he was like, dude, remember you speaking about having a men's group? He's like, I'd like to start one here. And he's like, I want you to be a part of that. He's like, I think you'd be a great leader for our church and all that. And I'm like, man, that's awesome, man. I really appreciate that. But I said, let's do this, man. I was like, why don't you come out to Grace Family Church, our men's group meeting on Monday, and you see how it's ran. So maybe you can get some ideas from it or whatever. So he came out and he ended up seeing somebody he knew there. So he sat at a different table, and so that's cool. I'll link up with him after the group,
Mm-hmm.
And as this is going on, I start thinking, I'm like, man, we got two powerhouse churches here. We should combine our powers. We should try to work on getting a men's group together,
sure.
Or something. This could be the gel. This could be the start of bringing these two churches together. And so afterward, I see Kurt and we start talking, and the first thing he says is like, man, I think we should bring these. I think we should bring Grace together with us, with our guys, man. We should create a men's group, and we'd be powerful together. I'm like, bro, I was just thinking that. So he gave me confirmation. So like we started, and like, we got to move slow, but we're going to start trickling in some guys to the group, a couple of, maybe 3-4 other guys, from our church, and, start just, showing up, and see what happens, we'll see what happens, but that would be cool, because, men need support.
Yeah, I agree. Men need a tribe,
Need a tribe.
Need a group of other like-minded dudes that they can bounce ideas and like, their worries off of. Because we're built and we're capable of handling each other's, issues and concerns. Like I know some guys like to confide in their significant other. I don't think men and women are sort of built the same way in which we can understand each other's, worries and problems. And I think as a man, you're better off confiding in other men, that you're close to,
yep.
Than, maybe your wife or your girlfriend, right?
Yep.
And that's just a personal opinion of mine. I think you're going to get better male advice. You're going to get better advice from a male perspective,
yes,
than you would from a female perspective on male issues.
Yep.
I think that goes both ways, because women like
for
to
sure.
confide in other women, so that logically that just makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. So yeah, when guys don't have that outlet, they don't have other men that they can talk to, other like-minded men that they can speak to. Yeah, who do you turn to, right? And you keep it all in, and then it just kind of festers, and it.
Yeah, and before, like, I would go try to get fellowship at the wrong places.
Mm-hmm.
I would go to the bar,
right?
And just grab a beer and then just be talking to somebody that most likely, as not giving me good advice.
Sure.
Yeah, it's not going to be a positive influence.
So at least you're around other guys. You're all conscious,
right?
Nobody, and what's bonding you together is not liquor or weed or the wrong thing,
right? Right.
The wrong source. The source that's bonding you together is like you're all, having a relationship with God. So you're all trying to,
sure.
So you're it's a sustainable source.
Yeah,
like God is your gel.
Yeah,
so that's pretty dope.
But it takes a religious minded person to do that, right?
Yeah.
If you're not into that, if that's not your thing, then where do you go? Do you go maybe like maybe you're into, I don't know, tennis, right? And
Yeah.
maybe you go hang out with your tennis buddies, or you're into something else. Maybe do a podcast and you talk.
There you
have a
go.
conversation with your boys.
Find a way to something that is something healthy.
Right.
That you can,
something healthy. Exactly.
Yep,
Exactly.
Absolutely, man. They use a term too at that men's group that you probably know too, is like, who's your six? It's like a military term, right?
Who has your back?
Who's got your back? Okay.
Yep. So that's what they keep relating that to, man. Like, get your six, Now, when they say that, is it 6 men, or is it just like saying like who has your back?
Who has your back?
Okay.
It's like 6 o'clock, right? Because that's
Okay, got you.
down on the that's behind you. Yeah.
Nice, man. Yeah, I knew coming from a military. Tom, you were military.
Yep. Yeah. So I was raised a military brat. Both parents were in. My brother was in. Aunts, uncles. I even joined the military. So it's in the Air Force up in Alaska for a while until moving down here.
Alaska, dude, that's so cool, man.
Yeah.
How many years did you do in the Air Force?
So I did
Or served,
4
should I
years. 4 years active, and then I did another, I'd say like 2.5 in the reserves down in Homestead, south of Miami.
So that gave you a nice like foundation for life, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, I grew up in kind of with what you were talking about.
What's that?
That environment of like do this.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
My dad,
Military.
He's a military guy. He's a retired fireman. So it's like ingrained. I mean, he's softened up around the edges as he's gotten older, but when he was younger, he should have damn well been a drill sergeant. At least that's what I thought. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we got a couple of soldiers, man. John's a Marine. So
Yeah.
can't wait to get him back. He's out of town right now.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had him on the show in like 3
Yeah,
weeks
he
or
was
something.
on the first episode, and was that it, or
I don't know.
Has he been on since?
I can't remember. I thought he did a couple of them.
Yeah, he did that one. The other one that I did.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I think we I don't think we've edited that footage yet. Maybe we'll put some of that on. Yeah. But yeah. We do need to get John back here. Maybe next weekend, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, I keep asking him, but he's got I think he went to Orlando this week.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and I know he was free last weekend, and that was kind of it just didn't work out because I was on daddy duty that weekend.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah. So maybe next weekend, we can plan ahead and get everybody here. Yeah.
Which I really, man. Speaking of that, man, I really want to get with you and your son, man, and go do something cool, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom, you're more than, you're invited, man. If you want to kick it with her, if you got time. I know you got baby Emmy.
Yeah, she, in terms of like interaction things, I mean, she's still at that really, really young age. So I don't know.
Well, no, I'm saying you have her responsibility, so it's not as easy for you to just break away and,
Yeah. I mean, life changes when you have a little one in the house,
absolutely.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it's a beautiful thing, though.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. But I want to get out there with you, man, and I want to go to, do something cool like that with him.
Sure.
So I had a question for you guys. Sorry to switch subjects a little bit,
No, you're
but
good.
one of the topics I was thinking about was like, when someone doesn't like love or value themselves, I feel like they always find like they're always find something to be upset with like other people for. Like that's what I'm starting to see, man. I'm like, man, a lot of people that are miserable all the time, it's because they don't love and value themselves. I don't know. I wanted to get like y'all's opinion on that, because, and then they start to complain, they start to complain a lot, about it. It's always somebody else, right? It's always somebody else's, someone did this, someone did that to them.
Sure.
So I was just curious about that, because also like trying to love somebody like that, you end up wearing yourself out.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, because, you're always combating a what if scenario, which, instead of that person actually looking at their particular scenario, and again, kind of with what I had mentioned earlier, trying to figure out where they're weak at and addressing that, or where they need to become happy. They choose not to do that. They would much rather live in the environment of complaining about something, because they're just, misaligned, if you will, where they're associating their complaining with happiness, which is, terrible. Like look at your situation, figure out where you're going wrong, because if that's your go-to is just to complain about something instead of trying to analyze your situation and, you know, realizing that there's better stuff out there and you don't need to be complaining just to be speaking, then, you know, move on, you know, like figure it out.
Yeah. I think it's a lack of self-accountability. And that's becoming more and more of an issue in today's society.
Yes.
And that stems from the whole participation trophy mindset that you don't
Stems from parenting.
Yeah, right. But the world is coddling our youth these days. Like everyone gets a trophy. You don't need to worry about whether or not you did the best job, right? No self-accountability, no responsibility for your actions. You're fine, right? We're gonna accept you as you are. And we didn't grow up with that.
No,
right?
like I can
we
tell
screwed
you,
up.
I have not vivid memories because it happened to me, but in elementary school, our principal back then, I don't know why I remember this, but our principal back then had actually the paddle that he used to use in a frame above his desk.
Right.
You know?
I remember that. They had the paddle on the wall at least.
Yeah. And like, you could tell he was happy about that.
Absolutely.
You know, like,
oh boy.
you know, I will, you know, spank some butts if you get out of line. But of course I can't do that now because that's just a lawsuit, you know?
Exactly. Everyone's protected. You can do no wrong. And so, yeah, I think that definitely plays a factor, right? People are getting away with, you know, murder, essentially. So,
well, how do you make them conscious to accountability? You know, how, like, you know, because I think that's what the issue is. Like, they don't want to have any accountability. They don't take any accountability.
I think
what is a step to make them, you know, because you could sit there and talk to your blue in the face, and sometimes people don't understand.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, the first step is kind of what we're doing right now, is that you need to like sit down and have a frank conversation with them.
Intentional,
You know,
like an intentional
Yeah,
conversation.
intentional conversation, letting them know like, hey, I'm witnessing you do this and you're going through this. Maybe you don't realize this, but I'm bringing this to your attention because I do care about you, and you know, you're making your life so much more difficult than what it should be. And here are the reasons why.
Oh, yeah.
So, which no one really wants to have that conversation because, you know, the worry of, you know, what is going to the end result be? You know, like, are they going to think that you're ganging up on them because, you know, you're looking at them differently and, you know, they don't think that anybody else looks at them? Probably because maybe those people don't have the courage to have that conversation.
Yeah, I wish someone had that conversation with me when I was younger.
Or they don't care enough. Like, you might have people around you that don't care about you enough to have that conversation with you.
Yeah.
And then the people that care about you and they're trying to tell you, you know, what you're doing wrong, you know, you get defensive with and you push them away.
Absolutely.
And you just want the people the yes men all around you. And you got to understand, like, you don't want a bunch of yes men.
No, not
you
at
need
all.
you need people that to tell you, hey man, you know, what you're doing ain't right, man.
Right.
You know, like, and that's them they're telling you that because they care about you.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's exhausting seeing you do the same things over and over again.
Right.
It's
And
insanity.
that goes back to your fellowship, your idea of a fellowship. Like, your fellowship should hold you accountable for your terrible choices.
Yes.
They should not coddle you and just be yes men, as you said. If you're doing something that is an obvious detriment to yourself or to others, they should tell you that, right? They should say, listen, that's not cool.
Yep.
So you want to surround yourself with people who care about you enough to tell you when you're screwing up.
Yep.
You know, that's important. It's not just about being around people who are like, you know, you go, you do what you do, you know, like it, and totally agreeing with everything you do. If they don't question you, if they don't drive you to be a better person, then that's not really who you need to surround yourself with, right?
Wow.
100%.
You know, I just get so tired of hearing, you know, that's the way they are.
Oh yeah, this.
You know, it's like, come on, man. You know, no, man. No, it's unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
That's
tired.
the way they are.
Yeah. You know, I'm not just okay.
It's just who I am.
Just
accept
because
it.
you're like that, I don't have to deal with you. I can make a choice.
Yeah.
I can make a choice to love you from a distance.
It's
you know?
even worse when girls are like, well, she's a Capricorn, so or she's a Leo, so I get it, you know. Oh
yeah,
my
you're
God.
right. They always put it with the star sign.
Oh
man.
my God, star
Yeah.
signs. Are you kidding me?
Boy. And you know the funny thing about star signs, man, is like they're always like partially true. There's not. It's not like they're like and people take like, well, you know, that's not really true, but this is. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Like this, you know, and you look at it. You'll read something and like 50% of it you can relate to, and 50% you're like, eh. So it's like, if it's not all truth, then why would I believe these stars?
It's so vague, right?
Yeah.
It's so vague. Yeah, it can like half of what they say, like you said, 50% can be applied to anyone.
Yeah.
It could be applied to anyone. So it's like, yeah, okay,
It's a Miss Cleo scenario.
exactly,
Oh.
Come get
exactly.
your horoscope, babe.
Yeah. So we just got to deal with you. You know, this is who you are, and you're not. And that's that my way or the highway attitude.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And nobody likes that. You know, like we all hate that. I mean, I've had bosses like that. I've had, you know, friends and
yeah.
family like that.
Yeah,
And it's like, okay, you get your way, but then you miss out on this whole other side of me,
sure.
because you know you're getting you got your way, but now you're not. You missed that relationship with me.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
you're showing up shut
Yeah.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I had to learn from that as well, because I've been that guy. I've been, you know, I'm not taking anything. You know.
I think all of us have been.
Yeah.
Oh, for
exactly.
sure, for sure.
And that's what this is about. You know, we're admitting that we're not perfect, you know, and
Yeah.
and we've done some things wrong, but you know, like we're trying to wake people up. You know, we're trying to like wake up, light up those different parts of your brain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like maybe we'll say a word or a message that will trigger something.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
people's willingness to take the advice of other people grows as they get older. When you're young, the world can't tell you nothing, right? You're just gonna do. I am what I am. I'm gonna do what I do. You can't tell me nothing. You're just trying to hold me back. You
Yeah.
know, this is the mindset of young people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then as you get older, you start to realize, you know, man, maybe what they were telling me was right. You know? Starting to see the value in the things that I was being told when I was young, and I didn't listen to it. And I think the most successful people in the world, the most level-headed people in the world, are the ones who are willing to listen and learn at a younger age, right? Right?
They're not scared of changing.
Exactly. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. You can catch all of our episodes on YouTube and Spotify at Better Gents Podcast, and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Better Gents Pod. Thank you and take care.